than just a game.
Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, isn't it tranquil and peaceful in this room today? You can almost hear a pin drop. But I want you to imagine a scene of extreme violence, a remorseless battle between two armies whose implacable leaders are determined to annihilate each other. No mercy will be shown, no quarter given. Infantry wiped out, knights decimated, all for the greater glory of the king who leads them. This is not Waterloo or Agincourt, but competition chess, where so much is at stake: pride, ambition, and reputation. Chess at this level is psychological warfare. You are face to face, eyeball to eyeball, with an opponent who may use subtle tactics to unsettle you. The players make their initial moves with great speed. They're so familiar with their opening movements. The clock is activated and the game begins. Pawn clock, knight clock, pawn clock, bishop takes pawn at breakneck speed for 14, 16, 20 moves, depending on the memory of the players. Then, out of the blue, your opponent makes a mysterious move, which startles you. You look at him. Is he confident? Is he apprehensive? You're not sure. Then suddenly he does something unexpectedly which alarms you. He takes off his jacket and with a dramatic flourish swings it onto his chair like a matador swinging his cape at a charging bull. He walks away from the table and struts imperiously to the back of the room. His hands behind his back, pacing back and forth, his chin erect, like Darcy at Bingley's ball, contemptuous and indifferent to all those around him. He seems to exude disdain for the game, and you are left reeling from his reaction, which is calculated to intimidate you. What is this move he has made? Is it benign and innocuous, or brilliant and innovative? You're not sure. You calculate and ponder at the options before you, but the permutations are perplexing and imponderable. You begin to sweat and to tremble, your heart begins to race, the adrenaline flows, and the stress levels rise relentlessly. The clock is ticking, 10 minutes elapse, 11, 12, 13, 14, but you are frozen in contemplation. You are wasting precious time. Your opponent sits again, and with insolent insouciance imbibes his water like James Bond sipping a martini. His ice-cold stare betrays no emotion, but you can sense his supercilious scorn. Like that martini, you are shaken, but do not stir. But you must do something, so you make your move. But is it the right one, or have you made a monumental mistake? With tortured trepidation, you brace yourself for the response. But he shrugs his shoulders and harmlessly moves a pawn. And you breathe a sigh of relief. There was no grand plan after all. And you reach for the sandwich which will sustain you for the duration of the game. The battle continues for 2 hours and you are feeling fatigued, but you are evenly matched and feeling confident when suddenly his queen, like a bolt of lightning, strikes directly across the board, deep into your domain. The impact is profound and palpable. It's visceral. It feels like you have been punched in the stomach. The intrusion into your home territory is as shocking as the time when your neighbour's dog defecated on your doorstep. Your neighbour is 6'6", 250 pounds, a black belt of karate. You have a black belt in origami. You stare incredulously at the board. Is the game up? Is it all lost? In desperation, you glance around you for inspiration, to the ceiling, the floor, and to your side, but the lights, your shoes, and the half-eaten sandwich offer no assistance. You are on your own. You recollect childhood games when hopeless positions could be salvaged by a sudden surreptitious flick of the wrist, overturning the board and sending the pieces scattering to the four corners of the room. This option is inconceivable now. You are surrounded by a large audience, avidly watching every move. And suddenly, serendipity. You have seen the light as a synaptic supernova explodes deep within your brain. You have spotted a move of such brilliance that you marvel at your genius. The kind of move that only Kasparov or Fischer, and of course you, could have seen. A kind of move that is beyond the wit of your hapless foe. You make your move. The catatonic trance on your face has been superseded by a grin broader than that of the Cheshire Cat. The effect of the move is dramatic. The colour of his face drains away, and he turns a sickly shade of grey. The game is surely lost, but the game continues as pieces are exchanged and removed from the board one by one. Like the Japanese soldiers at Iwo Jima, he will not surrender, but will fight to the bitter end. The end game is nigh. One solitary king now faces the other king. But this king, your king, has a pawn by his side. Just a little pawn. But that is the difference between victory and defeat. The solitary king is left to reflect on his parlous predicament, and forlornly cries out for help, like Richard III at Bosworth Field. A pawn, my kingdom for a pawn. Or Henry II, responsible for the death of Thomas à Becket. Who will rid me of this turbulent pawn? The pawn edges forward, one square at a time, protected by the proximity of the king. It reaches the last rank of the board, and this humble piece, this insignificant drone, this quintessence of dust, metamorphoses into a mighty monarch. Cleopatra, captivating and cunning. Boadicea, belligerent and bellicose, brutally brushing aside or before her in her chariot. With an exasperated sigh, your opponent tips his king onto its side, like the statues of dictators toppled from their plinths after a revolution, and he resigns. You have won. This is not soccer or tennis. There are no screams of joy or wild gesticulations. Instead, hands are shaken, and defeat and victory acknowledged with reciprocal grace. After all, chess is only a game, or is it?